this Triumph Daytona project that I got going here is being done for one reason and one reason only. Every year I've always wanted a bike to ride in winter, specifically for that purpose. It's always been, whatever bike I'm on, just ride it through winter, struggle with the road tyres that are on there, generally more track orientated tyres because that's what I like to have in the summer, and I generally replace tyres in the summer because winter trashes them and that. So this time round I've decided, no, I'm having a proper bike for winter use. It's going to be a Triumph Daytona 955 that I picked up very cheaply. It's in rough condition, very rough, a lot of bits not quite right on it. So not committing anything sacrilege by chopping it up and turning it into what I want it to do. It's going to be a fun project. It's going very green, just looking at the paint that I just finished, very green. So you'll see bits. The video is going to be chopped about with left, right and centre. There's no consistency in it because every time I keep looking at it, trying to work out how to record a video or how to actually talk about it and do something, end up doing things on it and not recording anything. So it's going to be an odd bit of a video, but the end project will be there complete very shortly. Let's get on with it. It's 3:20 on a Friday morning. Finally got done sanding and prepping for primer. Well, time for bed. Get up in 3 hours, get the primer on this stuff. Right, everything's in primer. It's looking reasonable. Now that we've been around our throttle bodies once, they're a damn sight cleaner. I'm going to repeat it again with a much cleaner cloth this time. The other one is a bit of a greasy rag for the pre-clean. Now that our throttle bodies are all cleaned up, looking lovely, ready to go back on, next step in this process is the idle air control valve. This is what controls idle on the Triumph Daytona 955. It's an electronically operated stepper valve. This one caked in oil, some old grease rather than a sealant on the back of that, so we have to address that. Not much you can do to service this apart from make sure the electrical contacts are clean and good. And this O-ring here, you want to have a good look at it. It's gone a bit white, and when you look closely, if you can see it, you can see multiple splits in the O-ring. It's dried out, it's no good, needs to be replaced if you ever hope to get a nice steady idle. Also with this part, the pipes that connect to it were corrugated plastic that were all split and cracked. I'm surprised this bike sounded as smooth as it did when I heard it run. I'm going to be replacing it with straightforward and bright yellow silicone vacuum line. This should hopefully work just as good and provide a much more stable airflow for the bike to send to the computer and read. Now to the bike. As you can see, it's the usual jumbled mess of wires that are covered in crud. Fuel rail's dirty as anything. Got my intake ports blocked up. That idle air control valve connects to these ports here, just underneath there. And on the Daytonas, the fuel injection rail is actually underneath, completely separate, quite a distance from the throttle body itself. It's a rather unique setup. I'm sure Triumph have got a proper name for it. If I can find it, I'll let you know. Other than that, it's a pretty honest bike. Just dirty, needing cleaning up. So let's get to it. Once you've allowed adequate time for your connectors to dry from the cleaning process and the chemicals to evaporate, get yourself some dielectric tune-up grease. Start putting on all your connectors. If you're riding a bike through winter, this is going to help keep out the moisture, help improve the electrical conductivity and stop your terminals from corroding. Well worth to do on any bike, whether you do it, ride it through summer or winter. It's something I like to do, just to make sure everything works as it should. As I said before, this video is going to be well chopped up and all over the place because I keep working on stuff. So what we've got coming up, a bit of aluminium welding, the dash surround. Reason I'm doing like this, I don't know if I'm going to run any sort of fairing on it yet or not, or bikini fairing, so I'm making a solid dash that's going to completely cover the instruments, keep the water out, keep the rain off, stop the driving rain from affecting the electronics behind it. So this is what we've got so far. A very simple aluminium dash mount. The cluster will sit directly in there. It'll keep the driving rain out. I'm going to make a port so I can plug it in later. From here, I'm going to get a quick file, another wire brush, wipe it down with some acetone, and then weld up the back. And that'll do for now. In the welding, see what this does and how this comes out when it don't have the screen in place. No idea what will happen here, so let's find out. Well, I'm happy with that. Come out clean. Going to run a couple of bits across the inside and a few stitches. So just in here on the ends, seal it up nice, help prevent any cracking while it's nice and warm. Right, I'll bring you back on when that's done. Right, all done now. I'm happy with how it's sitting. Next step, make the mount to get it on the bike, cut a hole in the back for the plugs to go in, and decide how I'm going to finish this off to make it weatherproof. Right, I'll get you back when it's all done.